Audio testing 1 2 3 4. Audio testing. All right, Shalom. Back out here again for the fourth time on the highways and hedges, the chief place of concourse, through the spit fire verse of mercy of Yahawah Wa Yahawashi. So with that, Salaki. So with that, I would like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahawah Bahashem, Yahawashi, Bahashem, Wakab Kadash. In the Heavenly Father, true name is Yahawah, and His only begotten Son, Bahashem, in the name of Hamashiach Yahawashi. Those are the two names in the ancient Paleo Hebrew, the Lashon over time. And I say Barak Abam to the elders and apostles were Akim, Ba'akwaf, and I say Shalom. So out here for the fourth time on the highways and hedges, the chief place of concourse, on this June the 20th, 2026, on this Saturday afternoon. And the body have Yahawah, for accounts about the holy angels. We are teaching on the highways and hedges, the chief place of concourse, and right along with the elders and apostles for Akim, and the body have Yahawah. So I'm going to check out some recent news articles, if possible. On a daily basis, we're occupying prophecies as we continue to measure the time, redemption, and suffering. He said, this is a news article right here. It says from the U.S. Treasury, chief says, reporter says, he says Zelensky acting like Mr. Bean on the crack. He said Zelensky acting like Mr. Bean on the crack. Hey, so that lets you know the division between these Edomite nations. What's that Mark III chapter? If a kingdom be divided, the kingdom not stand. Hey, we see these Edomite nations up here divided. Hey, the Wadi Habashimashai for that, It says, is the UK heading toward a government crisis, which is a protest? Because, we've been seeing a lot of protests of citizens going to be rising up against their officials over there in the UK. That's what we've been seeing, throughout the years recently. So, hey, it seemed like it might turn out to be that way, That goes into that Luke 20, verse 25. There should be signs in the sun and moon and stars, and upon the earth expresses nations will perplex sea rage growing. And that's what we're seeing. 2nd Hedges 9, verse 3, that's what we're seeing, It says 5 injured in a suspected axe attack at a near mosque. An experience created for business. Ecclesiastes 39, verse 28. All right, I'll show you guys some more news articles. Now I'm going to go to the time of Israel. Y'all check out some more news articles. It says Israel defense soldier unalive and 13 were injured in an overnight attack by Hezbollah in southern Lebanon. Why? So he said still got that cross-border tensions are still heating up between Lebanon and Hezbollah and Israel defense. It says heading to Iran for talks. Vince says hoping for a progress on Lebanon ceasefire in the nuclear issue. Why? Because you had, I think previously, the Iranians, they were saying that, because you got the Israel Defense Force been violating the ceasefire because they supposedly they supposed to keep their commitment of this ceasefire that was signed by Lebanon and Lebanon. So now if we bring out just the scriptures instead. Yeah, so that's the latest what's going on in the world today. Seeing that lets you know we're living in biblical science and signs of times. and these are biblical prophecies. These are signs on the continue to increase. And this is the book of Jeremiah. Yeah, start at Jeremiah 28 verse 7. And this is Jeremiah chapter. Yeah, this book of Jeremiah chapter 28 verse 7. It says, "Nevertheless, hear thou now this word that I spake in the ears of all people." This is Jeremiah chapter 28 verse 8. It says, "The prophets I had before thee and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and great kingdoms, war, evil, and a pestilence." Right? That's what we see in our world today: war, evil, and a pestilence only will continue to increase, just like the prophet Jeremiah has mentioned. And just like Jeremiah, when they was on the scene, and they was prophesying against great countries and great kingdoms, war, evil, and a pestilence. And that's what we see in our world today: increasing war, evil, and a pestilence. And we're prophesying against great countries and great kingdoms. And we're prophesying about war, evil, and pestilence right along with it as well too. And that's what we're seeing. This is Jeremiah. Yeah, this is the prophet Jeremiah 28 verse 9. It says the prophet was prophesied of peace when the word of the prophet should come to pass. Then should the prophet known that Yahawah Wa Yahawashi had should sent. Right, just like Yahawah Wa Yahawashi had should sent the prophets out in ancient times. Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Isaiah. Prophecies came to pass and fulfilled in those times, and prophecies is going to come to pass and fulfilled in these times. It says Jeremiah chapter 28 and verse 9. It says the prophet was prophesied of peace when the word of the prophet should come to pass. Then shall the prophet known that Yahawah Wa Yahawashi had should sent. And this is Matthew 24 and verse 7. "For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom," which goes into ethnos. It says, "There shall be famines and pestilence, and earthquakes in diverse places." Right, so we're going to be seeing these different types of famines and pestilence plagues that Yahawah Wa Yahawashi mentioned about. Now for the switch the topic and bring out that second edge of the 9th chapter, because we're going to see the Heavenly Father visit this earth now so more than ever, especially with these famines and pestilence plagues that we see in our world today, and especially with these weather-like conditions that Yahawah Wa Yahawashi has been bringing forth from this planet Earth. This is second Ezra chapter 9 verse 2. It says, "Then thou shalt understand it is a very same time or in the highest, which the Heavenly Father, Yahawah, will begin to visit the world which you made." Like I said, Yahawah Wa Yahawashi that continues to visit the world which you made. Signs like that. This is second Ezra chapter 9 verse 3. It says, "Therefore, when I should be seeing earthquakes, upwards people will." Right, so more increase in earthquakes, the upwards people will continue to see that continue. This is second Ezra. It's the book of second Ezra, chapter 15, verse 5. It says, "Behold, saith Yahawah Wa Yahawashi." It says that I will bring plagues upon the world: the sword, famine, death, destruction. And that's what that Father brings on a daily basis. That sword, famine, death, destruction is only going to continue to increase, and that's the increase in the visitation of Yahawah Wa Yahawashi. So we'll bring out that Psalms 18 verse 7, which Heavenly Father is angry with every day, like it says in Isaiah 40 verse 22. And this is the book of Psalms 18 verse 7. So more visitations from the Heavenly Father himself, Yahawah Wa Yahawashi. This is the book of Psalms 18 verse 7. It says, "Then the earth shook and trembled, and the foundations, also the hills was moved, we shake because of wrath." Right, because WROHTE, which is wrath, is angry, because Heavenly Father's angry at the wicked every day. That's why he visits this earth with the great shakings, with these earthquakes and these weather-like conditions. And that's what we're seeing at a modern day historical rate. And that's what we're seeing. This is Isaiah chapter 29 and verse 6. It says, "Thou shalt be visited of Yahawah of hosts, with thunder and with earthquake, and great noise, and storms, and tempests, and the flame by fire." Why? So the Heavenly Father will visit this earth with storms, and tempests, and flame by fire, and thunder and earthquakes. And that's what we're seeing. That's what we're continuing to increase. This is Isaiah chapter 28 verse 2. It says, "Behold, Yahawah Wa Yahawashi as a mighty and strong one, which is a tempest and destroying storm, as a flood of mighty waters cast everything in." While we see these wildfires are increasing, these fire weather alerts, and these heavy storms, these heavy floodings at a historical rate around the world, or in the version of Babylon, that's an indicator that Yahawah Wa Yahawashi is going to visit this earth now so more than ever at a historical rate. That's what we're seeing, And this is a book of Luke. Yeah, this is Luke 21 verse 11. Yahawah speaking. Yeah, this is the gospel of Luke 21 and verse 11. It says, "A great earthquake shall be in diverse places." Right, so more uptick of modern day earthquakes in various places, earthquakes in diverse places. It says a great earthquake shall be in diverse places, right? Just like that potential larger earthquake might hit over there in Southern California. It says an earthquake shall be in diverse places, and famines and pestilence, if it recites great signs shall be from heaven. And all these signs that Yahawah spoke about is only going to continue to increase, and that's what we're seeing. And this is Matthew chapter 24 and verse 7. It says, for nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, which goes into ethnos. It says there shall be famines. Right, famines is only going to continue to increase. And we're seeing different heavy famines over there in the Gaza Strip throughout the years. And recently was that last year they declared the Gaza Strip is under heavy famine. And just like over there in Sudan, they under heavy famine. Because I believe the United Nations have mentioned that. They get that warning to that. They spoke about that previously and as recently. And let you know we're seeing increasing famines in the world today. It says, nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. It says, and there shall be famines and pestilence, earthquakes, diverse places. Right, so war, famines, and pestilence, earthquakes, diverse places. Matthew 24 and verse 8. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Right, so these are just the beginning stage of the beginning of our sorrows. So I'm gonna go ahead and close out. So back out here again, once again on the highways and hedges, the chief place of concourse for the fourth time on this Saturday afternoon, on this June 20th, 2026. So with that, I would like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahawah, Bahashem, Yahawah Shai, Bahashem, Bakakadash. And the Heavenly Father, true name is Yahawah, and his only begotten Son, Bahashem, in the name of Hamashiach Yahawashi. And those are the true names in the ancient Paleo Hebrew, the Lashon B'Stolen tongue. And I say Barak Atham to the elders and apostles who are Hakim Akwaf. Until next time, I'll say
Hello, Moto.
It's a spam call. Until next time, I'll say Kwame Sharala and